So I really wish I knew about the National Shrine of St. Therese in Juneau, Alaska, when I was there last year. We're traveling and making our next stop in Alaska, the United States of America, on pilgrimage with our Mother Mary from Sea to Shining Sea, with the author of that book published by Marian Press. Peggy Stanton's back with us here on Epiphany. And Peggy, I was just in Alaska last year. Wish I had known about the National Shrine of St. Therese in Juneau, because I would have made a stop there. Tell us about this beautiful shrine.
Well, and that, first I'd like to welcome everybody. Last week we were in Alabama, so take off your straw hat. And we're going all the way across the country to Alaska.
Going across the country, yes.
Yeah, we couldn't do this if we were on wheel or on wing. But put on your fur hat because we're going to be in Alaska. And really, I envy you, Vanessa, because it's been on my bucket list for a long time, but it's never gotten out of the bucket. Mm-hmm. But the last, so-called the last frontier. I mean, some of these statistics I just like to spout. Spiral 665,000 miles across the northernmost tip of North America. Now, that is larger, Vanessa, than Texas, California, and Montana, all big states combined. It has 17 of America's highest mountains, including Mount Denali, which is the highest peak, 3,000 rivers, and get this, 3 million lakes. It's impossible. But anyway, and what surprised me.
Wow, that's incredible.
Isn't that something?
Yeah.
Yeah, and humans, it's estimated, arrived 13,000 years before Christ. Can you imagine that?
Yep, and then the Europeans didn't discover it until the 1700s.
Right, that's right. When actually, the Russian Orthodox are often given credit for bringing Christianity to Alaska. But in fact, the first Catholic Mass was said on Sumes Island, May 13th, 1779. It was, Spanish explorers came and had priests with them. And so they said the Mass. But after, about 58 days, the Spaniards moved on and they took the priests with them. So the Russians they actually owned Alaska until 1867. And, and it was just too expensive to maintain and too far a distance. And they sold it to Americans in 1867. But both Catholics and the Russian Orthodox have a really strong devotion to Mary, and particularly in Kodiak City is Our Lady of Kodiak, very much revered. And the only Catholic parish on Kodiak is St. Mary's Parish. And what would you think the population of Catholics are? And
well, I have your book, so I'm going to
I was going to say, no fair cheating.
I have it open to that very page, so can I tell the listeners?
Yeah.
So I'm reading it right now on page 26. Today, the Catholic presence in Alaska is reported to be 40,000, just 16% of the total population.
Yeah. But this now, that Little Flower shrine that you were talking about,
St. Therese,
the Little Flower, I think it was interesting. She was named the patron saint of Alaska, and that honor was bestowed on her before she was even canonized.
Oh.
So, yeah. Yeah.
Mm.
So that is a shrine you'd like to go. It's near Juneau.
Mm-hmm.
And then in Anchorage, Alaska, is Our Lady of Guadalupe. It's a life-size replica of the Tilma that's in Mexico, and I guess is identical as it could be. But the first parish, isn't it interesting? First parish in Alaska was called St. Rose of Lima in Peru, and I don't know why. I didn't have a and they urge you. Research urged us that if we were in Alaska at Christmas season, which would be obviously an interesting time to be there, we should go to a little town named, North Pole. It is actually named the North Pole.
Yeah.
And it has St. Nicholas Parish, which was, inspired, of course, by St. Nicholas inspired Santa Claus.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So that's reading your book makes me want to go back to Alaska, Peggy, because when you go to Alaska on a cruise ship, it's beautiful, but you spend more time on the sea than you do land. And I would like to go back and visit the North Pole and St. Therese of Lisieux site and all these beautiful sites that you mentioned. And the fact that it's only 16% Catholic, the population, there are a number of sacred sites with interesting histories in Alaska that I would love to go see that you talk about in this beautiful book of yours, The United Saints of America.
Yeah, actually, Vanessa, I don't know that I mentioned this last week, but someone said to me, suggested, why don't you suggest to people they just keep your book in their car, because you could be traveling not just in Alaska, but regionally, across America.
That's a great point.
You might say, oh my gosh, Our Lady we're in Arizona. Why don't we stop off and see Our Lady of the Sierras? If you have the book there, it'll show you, how to get from here to there, if it's a close place. But there's one backstory that I really love. I hope I'm pronouncing this little town right. It's called Talkeetna. And it's at the base of Mount Denali. And it has not a statue of Our Lady of Kodiak or something. It's Our Lady of Barang in Belgium. Well, now, why is she there and why is that a pilgrimage site? When Our Lady appeared in Barang, Belgium, she appeared, and this has been approved by the church, 30 times in a hawthorn tree. And there was a soldier named George Herder who was married to a Belgian woman. And he procured, he got a little piece of that hawthorn tree. And one time their child was on a ship with 70 other kids, and they were struck by typhus. So the mother placed that piece of the hawthorn tree under her son's pillow, and he recovered, and all the other kids died.
Wow.
So you can imagine the gratitude that this George Herder felt. And he had 50 statues made of Our Lady of Barang, and with a tiny splinter of the hawthorn tree in each one of them. And, of course, that's why one of them is in Talkeetna.
I love this.
Yeah, anyway, the
Eric
couple, Eric and his wife were hoping and praying that their son Bruce, just a tiny child, wouldn't have to have a second open heart surgery, which he was headed toward. So despite the fact that Eric wasn't Catholic, and even Andrea, who was, were skeptical, they made an hour trip to that site, with that statue there. And when they were there, little Bruce, he reached up and, he touched the statue's golden heart and fingered it for a long time. And he had a little dog, and the dog kind of stepped up on the base and stared right at Mary as if he were greeting her. And at that moment, Eric, again, who was Protestant, said, I felt Mary's presence. I felt like she was right there. And, of course, after that, they made that pilgrimage. The heart murmur disappeared, and they did not have to have the second surgery. But I thought what the priest said, he said the biggest miracle was not that little Bruce didn't have to have a second surgery. It was that Eric's whole mindset toward Mary changed, and he converted to the Catholic faith.
Yeah.
He said the priest said conversion is always, I never thought about that, but and particularly in Medjugorje, that's true. Conversion is at the heart of every Marian apparition. And I emailed Eric because they had to have another procedure within the year, and I emailed him, and I didn't know if he'd email back. But he did, and said the doctor was amazed at Bruce's well-being.
That's beautiful. We're talking with Peggy Stanton, the United Saints of America, on pilgrimage with our Mother Mary from Sea to Shining Sea. And we made it to the state of Alaska today. And if you head to Alaska, St. Mary's Parish in Kodiak and Shrine of St. Therese. They also have Our Lady of Guadalupe Cathedral, St. Rose of Lima, St. Nicholas Parish, St. Nick, you know that, and the North Pole, and St. Bernard Church. So many wonderful reasons for me to go back to Alaska. Peggy, and I like the suggestion of keeping this book in your car, because you're right, we go on road trips all the time, and you can be a place and you want to make stops. So I wish I had this book with me last year when I was in Alaska at this time. So when you join us next week, Peggy, we're going to take on Arizona.
Are we going to Arizona? I thought we were going to Arkansas. No, you're right. Arizona.
Yeah, we're gonna take off our snow hats, and we're gonna put on some t-shirts there.
Yeah, keep the straw hat in the back seat.
We're gonna go put our flip-flops on, right? We're going to Arizona. It's hot.
One of my favorite stories.
Well, we're going to be sharing that story next week here on Epiphany, Peggy. The book is available. Oh, always a pleasure. The book is available in our bookstore at AveMariaRadio.net and also by Marian Press. God bless you, Peggy. We'll talk to you on Monday.
Can't wait.
Okay,
Bye.
Peggy Stanton with us. She is the author of the latest book, The United Saints of America on Pilgrimage with Our Mother Mary from Sea to Shining Sea. We're taking on a different state every Monday here in Epiphany. Stay with us, everyone. We got to take a break, and when you come back, we're going to be talking about the story of Our Lady of Knock, whose feast day we celebrate today. Don't go away.